In this video, we're going to walk you through how to use the new map visualization to apply your data into geographical maps. So I'm going to go into the builder and we're going to select an app that has some geographical data, some sales data in this case. This is the demo mode, so you can actually do this on your system in demo mode as well. We'll pick sales data. And in particular, if I look at the customer folder, you'll see that I have state information, as well as city, postal code, country. We're going to focus on the state. And what I want to do is display a map of how many orders I have by state. So I'm going to bring in state. I'll bring in the order number. I'm going to apply a count to this order number to count those up. So common things that we're doing, just like we would build any other report. Now, one thing I noticed in this case, my data has a combination of states across different countries. So I'm going to bring in my country identifier, and I'm going to limit this particular report to just the United States. We're not going to apply this to a global map. We're going to focus in on just the US data. So I'm going to add criteria and set this to be the US. Now you'll notice that I've got a data set here with a short code or the name of the state, the number of orders. Let's go ahead and change that to be number of orders to make that more reflective of the data. And then the country is USA. Now, just like any other data set, I could go through and add additional items that I may want to use as filters at the dashboard level or at the report level. So for example, I may want to bring in things like the sales territory, but I want to make this hidden. So anything that I want to bring in as potential prompt variables, date is probably something I want to look at this data by date. I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to make it non-visible. I don't want to affect my data set, but I can bring in as many of those non-visible fields that I may want to use as filters and prompts at a later point. So now that I've got a clean data set, what I'm going to do is pop into my visualization. And you'll see map. And it's a really easy configuration. First thing we're going to do is, am I using a name of a state, or in this case, the short name, which we're referring to as a postal code? You'll probably see some additional things come in here over time. This is version 1 of the map visualization. We're going to add a lot of new features. So this screen may look a little different, but it's going to work generally the same as what I'm going to show you. I'm going to select postal code. And before we start to see a map, we're going to pick where's our location field. We're using the state identifier. And where is our value, number of orders? You'll see it kind of assumed that since that was the only numeric one, but you do want to select your value field. And then you'll notice the map here is already showing our data. And you'll see there's multiple choices. If I want to bring in the US small version, you'll see it expands out those small states so you can see them more clearly. And you'll notice a long list of other international companies and other types. There's one of the US with territories identified. And you can go through and pick the map of your choice. Next thing you can do is set your colors, and you'll see here that I have a color selector where I can go. So orders are typically good. I'm going to say we're going to use a green shade here, and it'll be a cool green shade for the low range, and then I'll change that to a hotter green shade for the darker range. And you can kind of see as I adjust that, my map shows me the preview of how those colors work. So very easy to set up, and that's one model. And you'll also see it from a data set perspective. I can do a sort of an on or off, or have a set of ranges to display data. So for example, in this scenario, let's say I want to say, just a few orders would be between 0 and maybe 25. And I'll set a specific color just for that. Let's select again, I'll select a cool green for that. And if I say a lot of orders, maybe I say that's a range between 26 and I'll just go high, and I'll give that a darker shade for that and add that. You'll see now that'll give me just a on off or a set color for the range and show me that range as in my legend. So you have a couple different options on how you can configure the map. Once you've got everything set up, I'm going to hit the finish, and now I can just go ahead and save this map and produce this on my in my library, put it in my dashboards, apply filters, schedule it, and do all the other things that you do within any report within Yerby. And if you do want to go back and modify, you just go back in and update that. Or if you want to change the visualization, you can go back into a grid and start to work on the grid level. If you do have any questions, just contact us at support@yerby.com and we'll be happy to assist.